Every single influencer and their dog are telling you there are a million ways you can make money with AI, but are they legit? I've been working in AI for over a decade, building it, breaking it, and seeing what really works. And I'm here to call BS on the bad advice.
And I'm here to keep it human as we go up in the AI.
I'm James.
And I'm Tanya. And welcome to Up in the AI. All right, so as James said, we have decided to go do our own research on this. So many lists out there we can see, top 5, top 10, what are the best AI tools that are going to make you rich, apparently. So we thought, because we love to do this sort of thing and tackle it in our no BS approach, we decided to do our own research on this. So we took the prompt and we put it into Perplexity, and it gave us some deep research on what are the top 10 AI tools that your average person, we're not talking about high experience here, or anyone that's specifically working in any particular area, more like your everyday Joe. Can you use AI to help you make revenue in 2026? And what are those tools? So we're going to go through that today, and we're going to unpack that in our no BS approach. Are these things legitimately good tools for you to use? And what are the ways that you can use them? And how are the ways that you can, generate some revenue from them? So let's get into it. Number
Tanya,
one.
before you get started, I'm going to have to call BS on you straight away because we didn't do the research. We got Perplexity to do the deep research.
I
We
said
actually
that.
sat back and relaxed for 5 minutes whilst Perplexity went deep into this topic on our behalf.
I did say Perplexity did it, but did I make it seem like we did not a lot more than we actually did? Yeah, well. Now we're going to put in the work where we're going to go where AI can't go. Right, let's do it. Okay, number one. And I've seen lots of videos out there and people, like James said, influencers who are bragging about the fact that they're not actually bringing this one up. So I'm a supporter of it. So ChatGPT, and it did also add in Claude. It was almost like the AI couldn't make its own decision. So what do we think on that one? All right. It said content creation and consulting for its why it's there.
First off, I think the reason it brought up Claude is because I use Claude Sonnet 4.5 in my Perplexity search model. So it probably wasn't allowed to say ChatGPT without saying Claude.
That says a lot.
Which is weird because it's kind of positioned it as like an LLM. I just think that ChatGPT is an ecosystem. It really is. Now, I personally prefer Claude for everything that Claude can do, but ChatGPT has all of these other things. It has GBTs, it has Sora, it can, generate images, generate videos. It's got the agent mode, which, to be fair, Claude actually came up with the computer mode, I think it was called, before agent mode, but then never really became retail. But anyway, we got the two.
Yep.
I think it's a really crappy place to start, and a crappy thing for people to say, because that's like saying you can use Google to make money. Of course you can use Google, of course you can use ChatGPT, but it isn't really a tool designed to make money.
Mm-hmm.
It will make you more efficient. You can get all of these different GBTs. You can be a builder of GBTs, but it's just such a broad topic, right? Like the only one that kind of I would say, okay, 100% anyone could make money with ChatGPT would be content creation. But then further down the list, we've got a specialist AI content generating engine. Like, I think that would probably be better. So I'm going to call BS on this one. What do you think?
I'm going to actually be in the camp to say, I don't think it is BS. I'm going to throw out there something that Dan Martell talked about it not that long ago, and I think it's coming up again. Not necessarily an AI tool, but an AI skill that I think that if you can get into it, and I think the way that they're talking about it is by getting really good with like these LLMs. So prompt engineering. Now, I think like becoming a prompt engineer, basically, as I understand it, getting really good at being able to tell AI, instruct AI on what to do, right? That for me feels like something that could really sit in the camp of ChatGPT and or Claude, but ChatGPT specifically, as a way that you could, as the average person, me included, could decide that 2026 is my year, I'm going to start something in AI, and that could be it. What do you think?
So the way I'm picturing this is somebody uses the tool and uses the output of that tool and sells it to someone else, right?
Then GPTs. There you go. I think that's...
GPTs are free.
And I had a conversation with someone this week who told me, again, put this in my brain for the future, for my own, again, something that I could take as an opportunity is I said I've got better at creating GPTs, and I really enjoy creating GPTs. And thank you to your GPT to help me create GPTs. I'm getting more efficient at that. And he said that he is aware of someone that's created a GPT about their niche, something that they already have the experience about and know really well, and then they've sold that GPT to somebody else.
I mean, I have in my time sold the creation of GPTs and Copilot agents, but I think that the point of this is that they were supposed to use the software. I think as we go further down, there's going to be better examples of ways that you can actually make money for someone else. Like you can set it up as a service. Right? So what kind of service would you set up using ChatGPT? Well, I mentioned content. You could become a consultant and then just use that, just talk to ChatGPT the whole time and just pass on all of that consulting advice. But personally, I don't like that because I think advice is where ChatGPT struggles. If there's loads of great advice on the internet already, then yeah, it's going to pick and give you the best. But where you're trying to like think outside of the box, that's where ChatGPT struggles.
Yeah, okay.
Coming up with something new. And as everyone is now using ChatGPT, like we've talked about it many times, like you need to differentiate yourself. So I think that's no. You mentioned prompt engineering.
And can I just jump in here? I made a choice not to actually read the real money opportunities that Perplexity suggested, right? Because I wanted to be able to use my own brain to think about that and not come in influenced. And now I have read the real money opportunities given by Perplexity for ChatGPT and Claude, which is AI consulting. We've talked about that. Content creation, you've mentioned that. Prompt engineering, and custom GPT development for businesses. So I'm just generally happy that I'm thinking on the right track, I think.
You called all of the BS. Yeah, you've been indoctrinated to think that ChatGPT can make you lots of money. Let's think about the prompt engineer one. Like being a prompt engineer helps you use ChatGPT, but how can ChatGPT help you sell prompt engineering? Yes, there is a whole concept of meta prompting. You could go out there and build a shitload of prompts, but that's all average crap. That's the average crap we see on LinkedIn posts. Like, look at my top 10 prompts. You read them and they're just utter crap. Like they've just been generated by ChatGPT and they've not been tested. Real prompts, real prompt engineering comes from like using it for a year and slowly tweaking it over every this did this thing wrong, so I'm going to tweak this little bit, and so you've got this perfect prompt. That's prompt engineering.
So it can make you money. It's not going to be tomorrow unless you've already got the experience in it.
If you have to rely on ChatGPT for your prompt engineering, I don't think it's ethical to actually sell it because you're not actually a prompt engineer. You're just hoping that ChatGPT can do a half decent job. And the problem is you won't know either way whether it does or it doesn't because you don't know what prompt engineering is. This is the whole problem with AI, is it's opening up all of these different sectors, right? But it's like, okay, it's going to create me a marketing strategy, right? It could do that and you could sell that. You could go on to Fiverr or Upwork and sell it for 10, 20, 50, $100. But if you're not a marketer, it's not actually you're not going to know whether it's good. You're going to burn your brand. Some of them are going to be good. Some of them are going to be bad because there's a bit of a flip of the coin with AI. Whereas if you're a marketer, so this is kind of against the whole average Joe thing. If you're a marketer and you know what good is, you know what good content is, you know what good strategy is, 100% ChatGPT can make you a shed load of money because it'll take what would usually take a week and do it in an hour. You can review it. You can talk to it via voice. 100%. Now, that's a window of opportunity, but that's not for the average Joe. You have to have past experience for that.
Okay. Yep. That makes sense. All right. I think we should move on. That was an interesting one. I didn't think it'd get so heated so early on, but here we go. Now I'm just going to go into I don't know anything, so you get to do all the talking. Here we go. Number 2, Vappy, voice AI agents. BS, no BS. What do you think?
Wait, you don't know anything about voice AI agents?
I do know something about voice AI.
Okay, tell me something.
What
do they do?
Voice AI represents one of the fastest growing monetization options.
You're reading it.
I am reading it. Okay.
Surely you've phoned somebody and a voice AI has picked up.
Yeah, so this is where you could actually sell an AI, like a voice AI, to a plumbing company to act as a
That's a
receptionist.
great example. That is a great example. Plumbing is perfect because what are they doing? They're spending all their time plumbing. The only way that they get the calls picked up is if they have a very helpful and understanding wife that's willing to raise the kids and pick up the calls all at the same time.
Yeah,
Do
100%.
the admin.
Yeah. So there you go. There you go. I gave you a good
Okay.
start.
I know for a fact that this is more niche, right? It's less broad. There are less people doing it. And the ones that are doing it, especially the ones that started doing it, like we did our first one a year ago, and I knew people that were doing it before then. There is a lot of money to be made on this. A lot of money. Now we have to think, okay, can the average Joe do this? A year ago, don't think they could, but Vappy is now making it so easy, inbuilt prompts. So you can tell it what you want and it will build. This is the definition of meta prompting. It will build a prompt. Is it going to be perfect? No. But we did a test a year ago and we did some outreach, which probably a bit of a gray area of whether you should do that or not. So I'm not advocating for it. But it was a test and we rang people up afterwards and we said, hey, this was AI. Did you notice? About 70-80% did not know it was AI. One guy was so adamant that it wasn't AI. He argued and argued and argued until I literally played the transcript. So now I was speaking to this lovely lady, Penelope, or whoever it is that we chose. Yeah, that's our AI agent. No, it can't be. Got a beautiful Australian accent. Yep, we gave them an accent, gave her an accent. Just he couldn't accept it. So it comes down to how perfect, right? I think the average Joe with, let's call it a day of messing around in there, could get something up and running. You can link it up with Twilio, you can get that number. And for something simple like I think the best sell for a voice agent is an alternative to voicemail. Rather than, you don't pick up the phone, rather than send them to the crappy Vodafone thing where you haven't even done a proper recording, or, like a really awkward, like, hi, this is James, you just missed my call, all that crap. Like, goes to an actual interactive agent. Hey, sorry, James wasn't able to take your call, but I'm his AI agent, Jimmy. I'm here to help. What can I do for you? Can I book him into your calendar? Blah, 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 blah. Like, that is awesome. And that is not hard to do.
So you believe that this one is worth its weight on this list?
I do.
Yep.
The average Joe can definitely put together something, but
Yep.
it's like there's a steep learning curve when you want to do complex things. When you want to do integration, suddenly that means you also have to know another platform, which is on the list, like Make or NA10. Yeah, I mean, it can go very quickly into being too hard, but you could sell something basic and then resell it as a productized service. Yeah.
Cool. We'll give that one a big tickaroo. Okay, so nice segue. Yeah, number 3, NAN and / make.com. So okay, I forgot to ask this about Claude because you mentioned earlier about what Claude can do differently to ChatGPT, but missed the boat. But on this one, so like for the average Joe who doesn't really know these platforms, can you just give like a little frame of what they do and their differences?
Yeah. Well, I think most people have heard of Zapier or Zapier.
If you've been in that space, yeah, I would say, yeah, or marketing and things like that.
So it's like the three of them are together, right? I was using make.com 7 or 8 years ago when it was called Integromat. Zapier was born as like a pure integrator. I take one piece of software and I integrate it with the other using Zapier rather than, it just means that these two softwares don't have to have native connections. All they have to do is get a native connection with Zapier and then Zapier does the rest.
Yep.
Then make.com, I believe, really evolved that into workflows. So you're suddenly putting together multiple connections. Now, Zapier could do it as well, but make.com built that interface that we're all the techie nerds conversant with, where you have these multiple nodes and some go in different directions. And then NA10 came about and said, well, AI is the next big thing. We're going to focus on workflows that involve AI. And so they made their AI specific nodes better than make.com. Now, if you have a look at all three platforms side by side now, they pretty much all do the same thing. They have different pricing models and slightly different specializations. Zapier has way more applications. Make kind of brought together this, it's kind of like a middle ground between the two. It's done a fair bit of AI stuff, but it was the one that pioneered the interface. And then NA10, very much AI specific. So how do you use them? Well, I mean, for years and years and years, software engineers have been paid to do custom integrations, especially when you start thinking about ERP systems, like you have Salesforce, some big invoicing software. It's like you need something to make them talk. Then Zapier came along, and then you've got these no code or low code engineers that are paid to provide this service, and like simple integrations again. And then now we're in the realm of workflows. Stick something in and get something out. Right? It's a machine line for AI for business. There is 100% money to be made from learning one of these things, and the way you sell it is you find a pain point. We've sold this but ourselves, and you go solve it with AI. So something that we did early on with a founder, no longer a founder, is streamline invoicing. And they had the client in question had two business analysts, I think they were 100 plus K per annum salaries, going into Salesforce and checking the invoices against the emails, pulled it. It took a while to set up and actually get right, but after months of doing it, all of that, 90% of that stuff was handled by AI. Literally made the two roles redundant.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they made the actual people redundant. They just refocused them in a different direction, which is what I think people in running businesses and thinking about AI should do. But like near enough, a 200K per annum saving. That's huge. But now we need to address the average Joe.
Yeah.
So I mean, we may have already lost like a good handful of listeners just by going through the definitions of what this shit is.
Yeah. To me, this seems like I immediately get this is not for me. But as you've been talking, I've been thinking if I already had a skill set in creating systems, right? Like, and what's the other flowchart kind of things where you would break down how something works within the business from A to B and what happens in between. It's the same thing. It's just now you're creating this not with AI, but yes, you're creating it with AI.
Well, it's not always AI. Some of the best workflows are things that save. Okay. Influencers go onto YouTube and they post these huge workflows that just like there's one, and there's an influencer I very much like, and he's got good stuff. He knows what he's doing, but like he's trying to get views, right? So he's created Jarvis, and in fact, there's a few influencers that followed his lead, right? So it's Iron Man's Jarvis, and he's hooked up everything, so you can make calls, you can look at your CRM, you pretty much do anything, right?
Right. Okay.
And it looks fantastic on a video, but is it actually useful to a business? Whereas some of the stuff that we've sold is literally like 1, 2, 3 or 1, 2, 3, 4 steps. A lot of the time, no AI, but it's saved them, tens of thousands of dollars. Like that's the thing. I think all you need is a business mindset. You don't need to be ultra logical. You definitely don't need to be techie. You need to be able to go in and cut through the BS that the person in front of you is saying, and find out what their real bottlenecks are.
Yeah.
If you can do that, and there's a simple solution, then you can build it.
So how long does it take to learn these platforms? Well, like on average.
I think you have to have a little bit of techiness in you, not a lot, but you need to be willing to get stuck in. Like if you're going to see something techie and just feel overwhelmed at day one, like if ChatGPT already is making you feel overwhelmed, then this isn't for you. And there's no bad feelings that I have towards feeling overwhelmed with this stuff. AI is overwhelming. But if there's a feeling that you have that you're like, "Ooh, I'd just like to try something new, see what happens." Yeah, you could pick this up in a week or two.
Yeah, and I think
I was just going to say longer than Vappy for me,
yeah.
but there are some extremely simple things that you could do. And in that sense, if they were able to find the simple things that made good money, then they could really productize that and just sit in this very tiny corner and make actually quite a lot of money without having a huge skill set. They don't need to go, I'm the make.com expert or I'm the NA10 expert. They just go, I'm this very specific niche automation expert and I just do this very specific thing.
Yeah, and just iterate on it, do it really well. I do remember like when I first used Make from years and years of working with Zapier, and this particular thing I wanted to do, Make was the one that was suggested to me as the better option.
Yeah.
And I do remember like I should have enough skill set with Zapier to be able to do this, but there was another level of learning. And to your point, I think for anyone thinking, is this for me? Should I start there? This is, I think, the point that we make on and over and over again. Like, it's finding the right people to guide you. I mean, there's tons of information out there on how to do anything and everything, but it is really important to find the right rather than just falling in the trap of going with the ones that maybe have the most views. It really is not necessarily the quality that you need. And same with my make.com first experience. I was trying to make something follow somebody else's guidelines on creating something, and it did not work. I followed the literally step by step and it didn't work. And then I couldn't get help. It was very frustrating. So yeah, but interesting one. So on the real money opportunities that Perplexity threw up, it was one-time project setups set in the region of $300 to $2,000 plus. Your automation as a service retainer, $1,000 to $2,000 retainer monthly. Selling workflow templates, I think we were just talking there, $550 to $1,000 per one. Discovery audits, $900 to $5,000. That's interesting. What are discovery audits?
You'll have to ask Perplexity on that one.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I think
yeah.
on a scale, this is on the techier side, right? Could the average Joe do it? Maybe not. Maybe not. Like Zapier, and these three platforms are on a scale as well. Zapier is definitely easiest. They make it so that simple automations you can actually do. Make.com, suddenly they're throwing around JSON and other elements like that, and it can be a bit overwhelming. NA10 goes another level.
Okay.
So I think that's been my evolution, Zapier into Make into NA10. Yeah, so there's definitely money to be made, but can the average Joe? I don't know, a bit on the fence about it. Maybe not.
I think the average Joe can definitely do anything. It's just how long is that going to take, and how much investment of time is it going to take? Because I wouldn't write anybody off. I would just say let's contextualize it so that they know what they were kind of getting in for.
I think so where Vappy, I think within a week you'd have something up and running.
Yeah.
And because you can conceptualize it, you can actually build an agent. Yeah, I think that would happen with with these integrations. You could be weeks into it and still not having it click. Like, it took me a while. And yeah, I agree with you. Anyone can get into anything with the right amount of time and guidance, but it's like, what's the entry point? Is it perfect? I don't think so. Not for the average Joe.
Okay. Well, let's move on. Next on the list, number 4, Cursor AI. Cursor AI. So under the bracket of code generation, I would say I know nothing about this. So step aside. Take it away.
Nothing at all.
No, I really don't know. No.
Cursor is amazing.
Okay.
But Cursor is definitely not for the non-techie. Okay. I've never written a line of code, but if you take out the developers of the world, I would class myself as a reasonably techie person. Yeah, I mean, Cursor, I've spent weeks and weeks and weeks trying to get my head around on and off. Like, I can do it. I can go in, I can build websites, build web applications, truly understanding how it works, truly knowing what to do. There's huge amounts of money to be made with Cursor because you can build anything. I think the BS that's out there really, really hard at the moment is that you can go into these platforms and build complex web applications or mobile apps. The truth is, the code that's created is bloated code that only AI can read. So if you're creating a website, you're fine. No one cares about that. No one's ever going to need to read it. The moment that you start doing a full stack dev, something that has front end, a database, and a back end, APIs, and so on, you're going to really, really struggle because there's so many interconnected parts. If AI doesn't do it right and then it breaks, you have no knowledge, and just asking AI to fix it, you could be going down massive rabbit holes.
That sounds like hell.
I did my first Cursor thing with a Chrome extension, which is probably the least complicated application you can build. And every now and then, it wasn't as good. The code wasn't as good as the models. The coding models weren't as good then as they are now. But yeah, I remember going down some mad rabbit holes of hours and hours and hours. Try this, try that. And then eventually I've got, as you know, a dev agency and a business partner that's been doing this for years and years. I handed it over to him. He handed me back in an hour and they've just fixed it. And it's like, if he was looking at it, he would have been able to tell AI what to do.
Yeah.
But I was just telling AI what the problem was. And there was a disconnect between me and AI and the code.
Yeah, gotcha. So what I'm hearing is that back to the person that we're here rooting for, unless you're coming at it from a background of coding and you're experienced in that and you understand code and the basics of that, more than the basics maybe, this is really not a route that you want to pursue unless it's a full-blown career that you're going for. Not saying the tool's rubbish or tools shouldn't be on the list. It's just that for the purpose of the average Joe getting into creating a
Yeah.
business using AI to make money, this comes with a lot of caveats type thing.
I know two people that aren't coders, but they are techie. They're techie and they're logical,
Yeah.
more so than me. They've made really cool applications.
Okay.
Now, they will run into the same problems of the bloated code, and eventually they'll have to have real developers look at it. But their applications work and they look awesome. So I don't think you need to be a developer, but you need to have that same mind of like logical, like have a concept of how software is built. I want to just do a left of field. Websites, there's huge potential. And there are applications that are like Cursor, but just more niched, more guardrailed, like Lovable, for instance. There's Bolt.new, there's Replit, there's a few of these. The one that Vercel made, or that works really well with Vercel. In that moment, you can actually just go to Lovable and say, I want this website that does X, Y, Z, send a few screenshots, and then you've got a website. Lovable have now built so many different things into their... I use Lovable and a little bit Replit, because Replit has a really good connection to Notion, which is down the list. But Lovable's great. It's the one I know best. It's got all of these like cloud features. You can do the hosting. You can link it up with Superbase. You can actually build in AI without having to do all of the API connections. They're just making it so damn approachable. And you don't have to be techie. So the average Joe could definitely build really cool websites with Lovable and sell them off. And these would look way better than your average WordPress site.
Oh, that was an interesting one. All right. Moving on. Canva Magic Studio, so design and visual content. Now I know Canva very well. I love Canva. There's been tools out there I've been like, do I really want to be paid when I'm not using it? Because there's been a few times I've just gone it's not required, but I will not let it go. Never. And I love using it. But I haven't used the AI, the Magic Studio. I've used bits of it. Some of it's just a bit like, I don't know why I'd want this, but yeah.
I mean, it's not really the question, but you could make money reasonably low skilled in Canva to create graphics. The AI has given it a few leg ups. You can do certain bits of generation, you remove backgrounds. There's some cool stuff that it does. You could definitely make money out of this, for sure. And you don't need to be too super techie, because the platform is awesome. You could argue you need to have a little bit of creative ability, but that's not what we're talking about here.
Well, you say that. So when I was looking at what I was going to do after I quit that, my full-time job, I like design and I use Canva a lot. And I was also, parenting, and I was looking at things to keep my son entertained that we could do together, activities. And I went on looking there, and like Etsy, I think and there was another place, just a ton of these things. Like, you create your own educational materials, for example, for a toddler. And some of them, I tell you what, the design was really like blah, but they were selling, and I'm not saying each one goes for a lot of money, but volume. And, if you're interested in that, there's lots of ways that you can, use it to make money.
Maybe this is going back on what I said earlier, but I have used a combination of Canva and ChatGPT to make money on Etsy. Not a lot, and I gave up after a while. But I created the AI graphic in ChatGPT, and I also did it in ideogram as well, both of those, and then used just one of those like t-shirt templates in Canva, and then hooked it up to one of those printing solutions.
Yeah, print on demand.
That link up with Etsy, and there you go, you're making money. The thing about that is, like, I went through a little like myth busting. Like, you see all of these, like, you can make loads of money like this, you can make loads of money like that. Tried a few. I tried Fiverr, I tried Upwork, I tried Etsy. And the thing that they don't really tell you is it's actually hard to get that initial bit of traction, the initial people. It doesn't matter how good you are with the SEO. Like, I tried very hard with Etsy to SEO it all, to try and bring people in, but you have to know how to market. Now, that's the difference between the stuff that we're talking about is mostly in my brain. I'm thinking B2B. So if you can half do Canva, if you can set up Zapier, it's not hard for any of these things to just go onto LinkedIn and say, I'm a voice AI specialist. And as long as you niche down and you have a good offer, I'm a voice AI specialist for plumbers, like you said, you can go contact plumbers. You can go find their websites, phone them up. When they miss your call, you just missed an opportunity here, but I have one for you. Like something like that.
Yeah.
It just takes a bit of effort.
Yeah.
Whereas with Etsy is hard. I'm a marketer by trade, and I was trying to do it without setting up ads. I think you might get lucky, and if somebody buys, then somebody else buys, then the algorithm goes on your side. Yeah, but my experience was that you just sat there like a website.
Yeah, well, you know my experience in this too, and I will make a plug. If anyone is interested in this and wants to learn, We Scale, you can find them on School. They do a free course where they from start to making $1 million turnover. It's free, and then you kind of go to the paid one, the university, which is you just get more one-on-one time with the real people who are living it, breathing it, but very much like the Etsy. So they sort of talk about Shopify, navigate away from Etsy because you lose. There's a lot of high risk there. Etsy could shut you down for a number of different reasons when, all your business is gone. But then, as you say, if you go the other route, then you are the one that's driving all that traffic there. And so that comes at a cost and it comes with work. So, but go check
I
out
don't.
Scale because they give you the way to do it. It just know that it might take a little bit longer and it might take a little bit more money. A
I don't,
little bit more time for it to get up and running.
I don't even think Etsy gives you the traffic that they say they do. Yes, they've got it. They've got an audience. They've got people coming on there, but it's. Anyway,
Yeah, I
discussion.
think
We're
move
not
on.
talking about Etsy.
Yeah, I know. It's a totally different conversation. All right, so we're halfway through. So we are up to 6, Jasper. Now, you introduced me to Jasper quite a while ago, I remember. So
I
what's Jasper good for? Where is it and what's it here? Why is it on the
content
list? Yeah.
content creators. I've not used Jasper since must be ChatGPT 3.5,
Yeah.
which is I think what Jasper is built on. But Jasper is in the same way you've got Cursor and Lovable, you have ChatGPT and Jasper. Jasper is a guardrailed version that's made for, at least when I was doing it, was made for writing blog posts.
Yep.
Not sure exactly. I think there's probably got a million other features in it now.
Yeah.
But I mean, that would be where I would go with it. I think we got a small win. This is probably the easiest one to get into.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is the easiest, right? All you have to do is have a concept. You need to go sell. Hey, I'll write you X amount of blog posts for X price. Give me the concept. Do a little bit of research. Plug it into Jasper. There you go. You could do the same. You could do the same with ChatGPT, but ChatGPT requires you to have a little bit more nous around the prompt engineering. Jasper is made for this one thing.
Yep.
The problem is the window of opportunity is really small and closing fast because more and more people are learning about likes of ChatGPT. You could, last year you could have gone and sold a blog article at $200 per post. Now I think people will go, you're just writing it with ChatGPT or Jasper. But if you're willing to spend a bit of time to get rid of the dashes, the M dashes, and the Oxford commas and the Americanized spellings, and just humanize it up a little bit, you could still sell this for sure. Make some money.
So Perplexity's its reason for putting it on the list is not actually a standalone business in itself. But if you're already in the space of marketing and you've got an agency that provides these kind of services, this can be a significant way to amplify what you're able to do and how efficiently and how effectively and how much for your customers without having to hire more writers or freelance writers to do it. Would you agree?
No, I think this is a standalone business. It's content, right?
And to your point, I think it's got a lifeline. It's got a shelf life eventually. Yeah. Okay. So go in it, do it, and just be
This
aware.
is the easiest one. This is the easiest one.
Yeah.
I mean, you could use ChatGPT, in which case the whole first part of this segment is completely ruined. Yeah, just go do it and go sell blog posts, go sell social media posts. Like just go sell it to someone that doesn't understand AI. It's a bit of an unethical thing to say, but they don't know that it takes you 15 minutes to put something together. And as you get better at it, though, you start to become that expert, and
Exactly.
you own the money because you can tell ChatGPT or tell Jasper how to make it better. I think this is great.
I do too. And I also, again, it's just gone out of my head. But yeah, I agree with you.
They go up in the air.
I went totally up in the air. All right, bring me back down. Okay. All right, moving on. Notion AI. So I love Notion, and I love so you introduced me to it again, and I've seen what you can do with it. I'm nowhere near that level, but I love the idea that I will be able to get to that point and what it can do for me as someone that tends to struggle with admin and collecting information in one place, but it's also addition of its own AI integration has become interesting. It's like an interesting journey for me to explore, but I definitely I'd root for this one. I think it's going and it has an application. What do you think about? But I can't actually figure out what it can do to make money. Like I can see how it can help me in my personal, and professional life, but not how I can start a revenue generating business around it.
If we take this from the perspective of the average Joe doesn't have any pre-existing skill set, and we're just seeing how easily could they dive in. Yeah, I'm not sure where Perplexity is going with this. I mean, you can make money. If you know Notion, you can make money by selling Notion setups to other people that like Notion or maybe want to get into Notion.
Yeah, do training around it.
Requires you to be an expert in Notion, which if you're just starting out, you're not.
Yeah.
You can I take a caveat to talk about Notion a little bit?
Go for it. Yep. Anything that's going to help our listener.
I love Notion. I used to be a Trello lover, right? Kanban boards used to be my life. I obviously used to do my tasks, but I used to also order like the different areas of my life. Cards would have, elements of my personality. I went deep into Trello.
Right.
And then one day I just kind of came up for air and I was like, why is my life a Kanban board? It doesn't make sense. Like, not trying to fit everything into a Kanban. It's just, I would have these mad product strategy things, templates.
Yeah.
It was all Kanbans. So I found Notion a good few years ago now. I like the fact that it had Kanbans built in, obviously, because that's what I was
doing. Yeah,
but
soften the blow of moving.
What was great about it is they've got the databases, right? And you can have multiple databases and you can, this really does make database stuff. It used to just be for developers, used to be technical, MySQL, and, I really didn't understand it until I played with Notion. And then the concept of having a relative database connection. You can put something in one database that links to the other and you can have them in both. And suddenly it's okay, that's how users work. Because you can have a user table that has names and stuff, and then another one that has security and passwords. And it's this is all the things that my developers have talked about for years that I never really understood.
Right.
So if you build Notion with this database structure in mind, suddenly your core pages can either be inside of a database element or they can leverage databases. So a great example is content creation. So I have this interconnected database structure that takes from ideas to pre-publishing. So then, it's the editing team, they take that, they create the stuff, and then publishing. So it's you post it and then you're tracking the analytics. So it's all one table, but these are all different views. And each are actually, in my case, are in a different page because I pull different team members into each one. We've also, to my business partners' utter dismay, have created a full dashboard for all of our clients. So every client has a business, has a dashboard. Every dashboard has a set of tasks. Every task you can go in and you can visualize it.
Mm.
We built a ticketing system in there. We built time tracking in there. We just slowly but surely layered all of these things in, and it's absolutely incredible. That took a long time to learn. So, and now I haven't even talked about AI yet. I don't think that the average Joe is going to want to spend this amount of time to learn Notion. But let me tell you about the AI because it's really good. Once you built your ecosystem of Notion, they've got this AI, and essentially your Notion board becomes the knowledge base. It becomes the brain behind the AI.
Mm-hmm.
And you can train the AI with pages as well. So I've got my Notion AI, which I call Jimmy. I call all of my AIs Jimmy. And it's got a set of instructions. It's my orchestrator, right? It's the first, maybe the second place I did the orchestration model. And it can call a load of different personas, AI personas. I've got my accountability coach. I've got my content creator. I've got a load of different ones. I could pull it up and show you. And each one of those has a set of training in of itself, and they all reference my broader Notion ecosystem. So it's for content generation, it knows to go to where I create all of my content and where my ideas, and it's got the instructions. For my accountability, I have all my place where I have my goals and tasks, and I also have a table where I store my accountability sessions. And I also have this place that's kind of like the Tony Robbins, the areas of my personality and all of that. So it knows about me.
Mm.
If you are a lover of Notion, putting this is the V2 AI. The V1 was crap. This one is amazing. Like, it's fantastic. But
What is it?
what do you mean? I've just told you what it is.
No, I believe that you've talked a lot of terminology, which someone who's never used Notion before wouldn't know what do you mean when you say a database? What do you mean when you say this? Like what is Notion used for? Yeah.
It's kind of like a creative project management tool, but it's the reason why it's not super beginner friendly is because you can create quite a lot with it, which means it's like the difference between Android and Apple. Apple is Apple and every Apple is the same. Every iPhone is the same and you just know how it works. With Android, you've got different manufacturers that do different things. You can have different setups. So Notion is like barriers removed. Still very creative. It's non-tech. It's designed to be non-tech, but like you would just be looking at a blank page on Notion and going like, where do I start?
Yeah, I've had that's up in there. Okay.
It's not beginner friendly, and there's probably a reason why I didn't make any sense there. The people that use Notion, if they don't not already using the AI agent, they will now because they'll have just understood how powerful it is. But for people that don't know Notion, they're probably like, shut this guy up.
Yeah, if you know, you know. Well, Perplexity put it under the category of productivity and business operations,
Yeah.
giving real money opportunities as in virtual assistant services, business operation consulting, creating custom workspace set up for clients. So I guess that's helping them build their workspaces in Notion, knowledge management systems for enterprises. I don't know. Apart from the virtual assistant services, maybe business operating consulting, average Joe doesn't seem to be, as you say.
No, you need to have a skill, and then you use Notion for it. You could do all your content in there, and you could sell that, and you could have your AI agent and your brain. It could be amazing. I see a lot of like marketing or graphic designers. They use Notion. They manage both their client tasks and the actual creatives inside of Notion.
Righty ho. All right, we're on number 8 now. I think this one is going to be. This one might have there might be a lot to say here. I just have a feeling. GoHighLevel, all in one agency, so everyone else understands why James is pro GoHighLevel and waves the GoHighLevel flag and uses it in his business and what he
Right.
does. So that's why I said that. Everyone understands. And he does programs and courses about it. So yeah, if you're interested in it,
Yeah,
you can.
actually, this is the easiest way to make money in any of these things because GoHighLevel is designed as a white label platform. If you subscribe to, like, for instance, their top, actually, you don't even have to subscribe to their top tier, but if you subscribe to their top tier, which is like 400 odd per month US, it's actually a SaaS. You can get other people to sign up and pay whatever monthly fee that you want, all built in. So in terms of ease, like, it comes with everything. What is it? It's a CRM system, but it's more of like a CRM ecosystem. It's built in with calendar systems, invoicing, contract signing, sales pipelines. Like, there's a never ending supply of potential features.
Yeah, okay.
So in terms of barriers to entry, yeah, I think it does take a little bit to learn, but it can be very overwhelming because there's a lot going on in there. If you were selling it as a CRM system and you were focusing on one part, or a couple of parts, like essentially the base of it is opportunities for your pipeline, automations for your automations, contacts for your actual CRM, calendars, and web funnels is like your click funnel. So there's that if you can master those areas of GoHighLevel, you can sell that, and people pay, a couple of $100 per month. Like we charge because we've got these custom setups with AI layered on top of it, so we feel as though there's quite a lot of value there. So we sell it for 240 Aussie per month. But unlike like the HubSpot and the Salesforce, that's unlimited contacts, unlimited users. You can access all of that in our templates, and then we do a $4,000 to $8,000 setup depending on what they need. And in that sense, the 8,000, we bring all of our sales consulting experience to build out these amazing playbooks and have like conversational AI built in. It's awesome. But the funny thing is, hopefully this doesn't get me shut down. The AI is not, for somebody who's into AI, it's not the best. Now, you can do voice AI, you can do conversational AI, you can get workflows built with AI. Sooner or later, they're going to have the funnel builder that's just like lovable AI. You do so many things to an okay standard. but nothing to a brilliant standard. So it's great for somebody that wants to sell on their services. Like, it is money maker. That's why they're so successful and why there are so many successful GoHighLevel people out there. It's
Yeah.
huge.
Okay.
But I mean, if this is on the AI category, I mean, I know
Hmm.
people that have sold the voice AI from inside of GoHighLevel. Those people have said, I can't believe my clients like it so much. But this is it. Like, again, there's a window. And I will say, I watched their keynote from earlier on. I think it was October, and their release schedule was huge. Like, there was so many features coming out, so many of them AI related. It will not be long. Give it another year, and all of those things that I'm saying are just okay will be fantastic. And I think they're to the moon. They're going to be huge,
Yeah.
more huge than they already are.
You saved yourself at the end there, didn't you?
Just in case that
They're not perfect right now, but they're going to be amazing.
it's a cool part of our business, so I buy into it. We just build our AI with NA10
Yeah, and I
and then
think
integrate it with GoHighLevel.
but if someone's listening, I mean, we talk about it again, it's like someone that's in it, that's living it, breathing it, and doing well with it, they're the kind of people you want to be listening to, right? They're the ones. So, like, your input on this, I think, is extremely valuable. And as I said before, if anyone is interested in this, James has built a course on doing this,
Short
right?
course.
Yeah, short course in our school community, Make Money with AI. Yeah. Hey?
Our free school.
Our free school community, and this is a free program too, free short course. Jump in. And always, you can just message James and ask him lots of questions too. I'm sure he wouldn't mind at all. Yeah, okay. So we are now almost at the end. Number 9,
Mm.
journey. So I think you mentioned something about, or is it maybe Descript that's coming? Oh, I've bloop. It doesn't matter. It's not like it was a secret. So mid-journey, AI art and visual assets.
I don't know. This definitely was a moneymaker. It's a little bit like the content one. I think everyone knows you can generate images now. So I don't know. I think the window might have closed. This is a really easy one to get into. You describe what you want, you get an image, you sell it off to someone. You could definitely go around and help people with their websites, make better visual content. There's money to be made. I just think the window is everyone knows they can generate images now. Everyone's heard of Midjourney, ChatGPT, Ideogram, or maybe not Ideogram, but most of these. Stable Fusion.
Well, from the experience that, because it's actually got it listed here, which is raise my eyebrows, print on demand merchandise. So again, we've touched upon this a little bit earlier, but and this wasn't that long ago, only a few months ago. And I think it's a conversation that keeps coming up in the community that I'm a part of over there. Like, yes, it is possible, and it's not that easy. It's not that easy to make something that I think that is the other person doesn't really know is AI, because I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I would love to know, probably go a bit deeper into it, but I don't think, I don't know.
Do you know what I did? One of the other things I did, I actually think I did this with Midjourney. I said I did it with ChatGPT before, but I actually think I did it with Midjourney. We made loads of like cartoon animal drawings. And my son is nonverbal, and I wanted to get some visual representation. We also did like happy, sad, and all of that, and printed it all off. And I was like, oh, I could sell this.
Yeah, you could.
I think that the thing is, like, the mid-journey part is not the hard part, in my view. I think you can create things that look good. I think selling it, even on, we're going to go back down that rabbit hole, but even on platforms like Etsy, it's just hard.
Yeah, it's listed out here. You can sell AI art on stock photo sites, print on demand merchandise, NFT collections. It says one creator made $2 million from 1,000 AI images.
2020.
Custom artwork commissions on Fiverr or Etsy. Yeah, again, I don't know.
Fiverr probably, but it's again, it's like I tried it. It's like you have to get a few sales, you get up on the rankings. Like, it's not easy. You have to sell yourself very short, work your way up. There are definitely easier ways to make money.
And I think also really understanding the platforms, these tools, like it's like that prompt engineering, what we were talking about, right? Like, there is a level of going through the hard times, which is learning how to create quality output. And that comes with your prompting and choosing the right tools. And that doesn't happen overnight. And it can be an extremely frustrating process, as I've been down before. Why is this, meerkat that I've asked it to make, it was near perfect 2 images ago, and now it's almost an image of an ox. Like, how? Why? So yeah, gives me nightmares. All right. If you're going down that road, good luck. And if you make, teach me what you learn, because I'd love to know. I'd love to be able to do it, to be honest, because I love design.
Drop in the comments if you think that what we've just said is bullshit.
Yeah.
Just say BS.
On anything. We love to
Let's see
hear
if we
about
get
it.
BS.
Yeah. Okay, we're on to the last one, and I think Descript, back in that video and podcast editing. Interesting. So, what do we think on that one?
Yeah, I think this is good money. I got no background in editing, no background, and I use Veed, not Descript. I've also used it for shorts. What's it called? I lost it. But these platforms are actually really good. Like, you throw content in there and you can make something that's half decent. You could definitely build your own socials, and I think you, as long as you're not selling like super huge pricing, I think you could sell this to clients without huge amounts of experience.
Yeah, I agree. I use CapCut, and back when I was in the business of being in corporate business,
So being in business.
yeah, Descript was the one that was, from our point of view, like when we were doing the initial research on what we were going to invest in as a business and use as a tool, that's the one that we kept saying, like, this is the one we want. When we position it to the actual people doing the editing, they were like, I don't want that. I want CapCut. And they kept pushing back. And then eventually they forced our hand, because they didn't even use a subscription that we bought them, and they just were using CapCut. And I was like, God's sake. But I don't know. I'm saying that says something to me. Maybe it's a much of a muchness, but I use CapCut and I love it. I love it.
I mean, I'm using this as a broad category, right? Descript, Veed, CapCut, AI editing of videos.
Yep.
It's a definite thumbs up for me.
100%. And content. And I think for me, again, maybe I'm a bit biased, but I think if you're positioning yourself in content, in and around content, I think that's a good place to be. I think that content is a growing area. It's going to evolve and it's going to change, but I think being in it is a really good place to be if you're into that type of thing. If that's your kind of bag, whether it's editing, whether it be image creation, content writing. I think it's a good place to be for the future money making opportunities, revenue.
But I think content, yeah. I mean, we talked about it. Some of these things have smaller shelf lives.
And they might just evolve, and if you're in it, you might be able to be part of that evolution. Who knows? We can't see the future. Before we sign off, because are there any on there that you're surprised are not on there? There's one that I'm surprised is not on there, but what about you?
Come prepared. Now we've gone through them, my mind is blank. I've got all of my information out there.
Well, I'll say mine then. Maybe that will help. I'm actually like, maybe because it's Perplexity. I'm surprised that's not on the list.
Research.
I know that it created the list. Maybe it felt guilty, didn't want to do it, but I don't know. I'm surprised it's not on there, because I think that would be
You
research.
make money with it. Like, you can definitely save money as a business using Perplexity, but do you think people buy research? Not sure.
What? I mean, okay, maybe AI research, I'm not sure, but like Deloitte, like there are huge organizations out there that they sell market research. That's what they do. They go out there, they find the trends, they produce reports on it, and they sell that to the people who are interested in it. Is that not what Perplexity could help you do?
As an average Joe, I mean, if you're already doing research, massively beneficial, for sure. Average Joe.
Okay, cool. Right, let's wrap this up. Today, we talked about the top 10 AI tools that can help you generate revenue.
Correct. Bottom line, there's definitely opportunity out there. I think there's just a bit of a mixed bag of skill set and knowledge that you need to have in advance. If you do want to go deeper, come check us out in our school community. We do always talk about how to make money with AI. The community is called Make Money with AI.
And don't just listen, go in there, engage in the community, ask questions, and dig deep into the classroom. There's loads of great resources there for you to use.
So, see you next time.
Yes, see you up in the AI.